guys, let's talk wedding decor. My daughter needed some extra snuggles, so there is a guest appearance today. I am Lindsay. If you are new here, I talk about a little bit of everything. If you are not new here, thank you so much for coming back. Today's video is just going to be an overview of some of the decor I made for our wedding back in 2022. A lot of twists and turns, and I will share some of the story of our wedding and how it happened during the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And yeah, I'm gonna play a quick intro and we'll get into the video. So as I mentioned before, this video is going to be just some of the things that I made for our wedding, and I will also sprinkle some little information about our day in throughout the video. These are the invitations that I made for what our initial wedding was going to be. We were initially getting married on a cruise that we were stopping in the port of Cozumel, and we were going to be getting married there in Mexico. And so since everyone was going to have a passport, we did passport invitations for the wedding that I handmade. I think I have one laying around so I can show you the inserts too, but they had so much information. We got them all sent out, and then I made the proposal boxes for our wedding party. We did gray for bridesmaids and then black for the groomsmen and the father of the bride and groom. And we kind of did custom gifts for everyone, cups and shooters and things like that. And then for their boxes, I also included envelopes that had all of the information in them that they would need. Where we were getting married, how much it was going to cost them, where to book, if they wanted to use a travel agent who I recommended, the colors for the wedding, what we expected out of them, what their role was, the itinerary for the entire trip, because, you know, some of the days, since it wasn't a conventional wedding, we were going to be having our reception in a different area. The bridal shower party was in a different area. And so it just had all of that fun information for them in there. We knew that we were asking a big ask to have people book a 5-day cruise, get their passports, and come do this with us. And so we just wanted to make sure that they were informed. And if they couldn't make it, no harm, no foul. That's one of the costs for doing destination weddings, is that not everyone is going to be able to make it, and that is okay. We did get fortunate and everyone said yes, so I started making everyone's hangers for their dresses and all the little details. And then the military happened, and my husband got short tour orders to Korea, and so we ended up having to cancel our initial plans, and we ended up choosing to get married in Vegas. Since I was no longer limited in wedding decor and extras into what I could fit into my suitcase for a cruise, I had a little bit of more wiggle room, so I decided to add a couple other things, and that is what I'm working on now. These are eventually going to be little mini tissue boxes. I am just showing you the process in real time, kind of what it was for me to have the template on the page, load the page, cut them, peel them off the page, and then I did this I did this 60 times. I made 120 of these little boxes. So 60 times over I did this. But I have some more pictures. I will just share some details with you guys while we're waiting for those pictures to pop up. So, you know, initially I had always envisioned my wedding of being like this big dramatic, like princess gown, this huge cake, drapery everywhere, just over the top, extravagant, elegant. And I had no idea how much weddings cost until I started planning. And then that's when I approached my husband and was like, hey, what would you think about a cruise? And honestly, it wasn't bad. For the 5-day cruise, plus the wedding and all the details, wedding dress and everything all in was going to be a little under $12,000, which is still a lot of money, but was nothing compared to what we were looking at. And so that's what we decided to do, was go with the cruise. So we planned for the cruise to be in April the next year, which gave everyone plenty of time to be able to make their deposit and pay on it, because we knew we were asking a lot. So we figured if we gave people the opportunity to make payments on it, that it would be smoother and we would have more people in attendance. Well, then in late February, early March, we found out that my husband was getting short tour orders to Korea. And so we had about 6 months to try and put something together. And honestly, we only had about 4 months because he was leaving in 6 months in September. So at this point, I was scrambling, trying to figure out what we were going to do. In hindsight, we probably should have just canceled it and moved it to when he got home. But I wanted my wedding, and so I rushed to remake invitations and send them out to everyone, and then try and get all the details planned in about 4 months. Because of having to switch everything to so soon, we did have a lot of people who weren't able to make it, and that's okay. Our day was still perfect for what it was. And we totally understood that not everyone was going to be there. On top of having to completely replan our wedding in 4 months, I also found out about 4 or 5 days prior to our wedding, or to us leaving for the wedding, that my husband had training that started the day that our wedding was supposed to take place. So again, frantic, I was calling all of the things, the photographer, the food, the venue, trying to see if we could move it up one day. At this point, we had already bought all of our plane tickets. All of our family had already bought their plane tickets. So I'm like, everyone's flying out here for us to party in Vegas. This is what it's going to be. They're not even coming for a wedding at this point. But everyone worked with me. For no charge, I was able to get everything moved up one day. So instead of having 2 days to prep for the wedding, I had one day, which really was just the one night. Because the day of our wedding, my husband had to change about 30 minutes after the reception started and go get on a plane to fly to California for his class that started for his en route training at 8 a.m. the next day. So for these boxes, I was going to fold them and ship them all, but I ended up just pre-cutting everything and leaving them flat like this because it took up less space, so it was going to cost less to ship. And then shout out my bridesmaid and maid of honor. They helped me put everything together the night before, but this is what they looked like the day of the wedding. I also picked up these little bells. That was supposed to be during the reception, everyone could ring them and me and my husband would kiss, but that didn't happen either since he had to leave early. And then I did these bubbles. Again, I just grabbed them from Hobby Lobby with the little tags on them, just for the little extra details. Nothing that I did or used was extravagant or over the top. Everything was just financially doable, and because it was small in size, it was easy to ship. Since we were getting married in Vegas, I thought it would be fitting to have koozies as a wedding favor. Now, I know you can bulk order these. It would be much less time consuming. There are companies that have machines that can generate these in like seconds flat, and it took me a long time to do this, but I did make all of the koozies by hand. And again, this is just showing that process. I just have "We Are What Happens in Vegas" on one side, and then on the other it has our names with the date, which also was wrong because when I made these, we were still getting married on the 14th, and it was before we found out his training was on the 14th. And so the dates on all of our stuff were wrong too, but again, sometimes things happen out of our control, so you just roll with the punches. I am hoping to do a planning video, or at least share some kind of document to kind of help break it down for people who necessarily don't have it in their budget to hire a planner or a wedding coordinator, but they also don't know where to start. So I'm hoping to have that resource that I can share with people. I'm sure I will offer a paid version as well that goes a little bit more in depth, but I do plan on having a free version of that as well. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get too much footage of everything else we ordered for the wedding favors, but we did order custom cards because what is more fitting than a deck of cards for a Vegas wedding? It had our name and a wedding date on it. And then I also made recovery kits for everyone for everything essential after a night out in Vegas. Goodies powder, liquid IV, hair ties, Carmex, things like that. I also made these myself, so I put on the front, "But did you die?" So I thought that was cute. I put these little notes into everybody's kits. I made these signs to have out at all the different stations with the bubbles and the bells and the wedding favors. I also made some really simple bags for our wedding favors to go in. It just had the letter H for our new last name on the front of just a white bag. And then here's a picture of what those looked like at the wedding. For our wedding guest book, I got someone to hand draw a picture of the Vegas sign. And then I also ordered these door hangers for everyone to put on their doors the night after the wedding. And that was the wedding favors. If there is one thing that I would do different, it would be to cancel my wedding until my husband could stay for the whole thing. Would change. There were a lot of things that I would change, but I think for what our wedding was and what we were able to do, our wedding was perfect. and we are so grateful for everyone who came and helped and made it what it was. Because it wasn't just last minute for us, it was last minute for everyone who made the trip out to Vegas. And none of our family was from here. I have one friend who lived here in Vegas. Everyone else came from out of town. So we're extremely grateful to them. I do plan on trying to convince my husband to do a vow renewal stuff that I made for my wedding loaded onto my Etsy. So if you need koozies or you want the templates pre-cut for you for this little tissue holders, all that will be loaded on my Etsy, and so I will have that linked in my bio. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.